Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. And we're going to be giving you a double bill today, but not only are we doing Friday night Smackdown review, we're also doing the Saturday night main event review as well. I'm here with my tag team partner, Gary. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I do apologize for the delay, but because there was a double bill this weekend with Smackdown and main event, we decided to do the review today. And because there's a lot to talk about, we're going to kind of speed run through this as well. So SmackDown opens up with obviously Sami Zayn. He's in Montreal, his hometown. Saturday night main event will also be in the same state arena. So it's pretty much a Sami Zayn show weekend, so to speak. Uh, we have some matches scheduled for tonight. Main event being Damon Priest versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams, he's really been catapulted pretty quickly, don't you think, since he's joined
Yeah,
SmackDown?
well, it's because WWE I think have been told that they don't have enough black people on top. So rather than do that organically and let them build up slowly, they decided, well, let's just fast pace them. It's like we've not given these people a chance to get over, and that's going to hurt them in the long run. So basically, it comes across as tokenism rather than what it should be. Because Trick Williams has the talent to be a top guy. You just need to organically push him into that thing rather than shove him into that position already. Because like him, Javon Evans, Oben Femi, all those people had the talent to be in that upper echelon.
Well, it's funny because you have people like R-Truth who, if they used him correctly after he came back from his rehiring, and he became very briefly Ron Killings. Yeah, that was your guy. You know, the guy is an established person who's been around for decades. You know, and the fans love him. He felt like a main eventer when he came back, and they blew it. You know, I like what they're doing with Carmelo Hayes, though. I think Carmelo Hayes can go a long way, but we'll talk about him in a minute. Actually, let's talk about him right now. But after the opening with Sami Zayn doing his little intro speech, we have Damon Priest, Trick Williams coming in, them having a little bust up, just kind of previewing what's going to be happening the following night. But our first match of the night is Carmelo Hayes continuing the US title, or as I like to call it, the Cruiserweight US title match. And I have no problem with that. I just say that as an observation, not as sarcasm.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I thought this match was amazing. I mean, like, well,
Yeah.
they had an amazing match the first time they wrestled, and they carried on that tradition by having an amazing match the second time they wrestled.
I knew they were going to have a good match. At the same time, like whatever they were doing,
Are even a guy like massive? No, but I think they're quite big. I think Ilya Dragunov is only like, how tall is he? Like 5 foot something? Above 5 foot something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're both small guys, but Ilya Dragunov from winning every match as champion, the moment he's lost his belt, he's now lost 3 matches in a row, and I find that bad booking personally. He should not have had, even though this was a good match, like after losing 2 matches, like the guy should have had an opportunity to win a match, you know, not lose a third in a row. And I'm not as good as this match was, and as impressive as Dragunov was. I wouldn't have made them lose this match personally, but still,
could be part of the idea for Mania, which is going to be him versus Hayes versus The Miz for the US title. Which
yeah, but that's so far down the line, man. You know, like it's months away. You know, but
really
anyway,
looking at how short-sighted it is.
yeah. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend.
No, you missed
Julia
out.
and
You missed out. Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green.
That happens after this.
No, according to my thinking, it doesn't.
Really? Well, I watched SmackDown today, and it's after this match. Anyway, look, I'll get to that match anyway. But regardless, we had a triple threat tag team match. It's so bizarre. Like the women's tag team division is bigger than the singles division at this moment in time, because all the main players, all of them, are in tag teams right now. Regardless, the result we got is the result I'm happy with. Kiana James got a pin over somebody else's finishing move. I forgot who it was, but she got the pin. And once again, Alexa Bliss doing the jobbing. You know, she's been losing a lot recently.
Well, I think that she's just making a new talent, which is what you should do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but she's doing it. Flair ain't.
No, because that's because
You
Flair's
know,
got
but
an ego the size of the moon.
yeah. But regardless, Kiana James got the pin. I'm very happy for her. She got a win under her belt. So, yeah. Anyway, what do you think?
Pretty decent match. Did what it needs to do. I don't think it was too long from what I recall of it. I think it was only like 10 minutes ish. I didn't feel too. And that was including the bloody breaks they took in between, which I started to get annoyed. I hate breaks during matches anyway, but they could put.
I just find it hard to get invested personally.
Because that was what was annoying me about Hayes versus Dragunov. Is that they were having a great match, but it was cut off so many times by adverts. I mean, I know US TV is different from British TV, but even so, it's on Netflix, so I'm having to basically they're in the middle of a spot, and then all of a sudden it cuts off, and then the other guy's on top. I'm like, well, what happened? I want to know what happened in there for that to happen. You know what I mean? Because he had the bit where Dragunov basically suplexed, deadlift super suplexed him off the flaming second rope. But that was amazing. I would have loved to see what led to that. And this was just the same, that he had a break spot in the middle, and it didn't need one. I thought they did what they needed to do. Told a good story, which is that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are having problems. Nia Jax, the last legend, couldn't do it. I wish I gave a shit about them. They should be over as heels, but I think it's a lack of focus and a lack of winning that's kind of hurt them a little bit.
Well, the reason why this match felt pointless is that the following night we're already having a tag team match for the title. So for this match to happen, it's like, all right, what the fuck? I don't care. The tag team match that matters is tomorrow night. Anyway, just some promoing here. Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Some of this stuff pretty much happened backstage. Obviously, Fatu's very focused on Drew McIntyre, but because of what he did to Cody Rhodes, he cost him the belt. So now them two are going to have a match, and we will obviously talk about that match in our Saturday Night Main Event review, which is coming straight after this. But is Fatu becoming heel again, or I don't know? Is he?
It's kind of a tweener, and that's the thing that I hate. It's no, pick your role, because if he did it because all the points he's making are legitimate. It's not like he's lying. He's not like, I think Drew McIntyre is the person who put me on the shelf for a couple of months, which everyone else thinks that as well. But it'd be fascinating to turn out if it wasn't him and if it was Cody. That could be a good flaming heel turn for Cody. Because the thing is that him as a face has maybe running off now, and he needs to think about being a heel, because if he's a heel against Fatu, that'd be a great story. And I think what happened at main event builds into that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wonder they did something like that. But I don't know, is Jacob Fatu big enough of a personality for people to give a shit about that warrants Cody turning heel? He really, in order for Cody to turn heel, he needs to turn heel against somebody who the fans really love. And Jacob Fatu,
Fatu's over with the fans.
Yeah, but he was whilst he was wrestling. Coming back, people don't what he did in that match, and it's still the steel cage match. It's kind of like, oh, whatever. And prior to him being off for a few months, his momentum was going. He was losing his momentum a little bit. But regardless, I don't think Cody Rhodes is ready to turn heel just yet. Once the merchandise sales start to dwindle and nobody gives a shit about his appearances anymore, then obviously he'll turn heel. But until then, I don't want him to turn heel too soon. We have a match. This is sort of like a promo match, as I like to call it. It's Chelsea Green versus Jade Cargill, but the match itself really wasn't what the match was about. It was more to do with people ringside like Jordan Grace, who's keeping an eye on things, on matters. And I'm not a fan of people being elevated to the main event position so soon, like Jordan Grace. Like, what the fuck? She just joined SmackDown, and all of a sudden, she is the main event contender. Now, I know she's a filler, in my opinion. She definitely is. But I can't see Cargill losing the belt to her. But
I can't either.
You can? Or you can't?
No, I can't.
Because I think Cargill's going to lose at WrestleMania. You know?
I mean, the thing is that like the reason she, I mean, like, I felt a bit sorry for her because because like in TNA she was reported around as this really powerful, still feminine powerhouse. She's been put on WWE and she feels the need to get how do I say this nicely? The girls out. Let's put it that sort of nicer way. It's like come on, it's like Jordan, you don't need to do that. You're a great wrestler. I mean, do that. I mean, like. Because the thing is that she's a better wrestler than Jade Cargill is. Not that that's hard, but she really is.
She's experienced, but regardless, there was a match amongst all of this, and it was Cargill versus Chelsea Green, and I don't like the way they're using Chelsea Green. Yeah, she kind of got squashed, and
she got squashed against Fabian John Bridges, and she got squashed tonight. I don't like it either. It's like. She could be your sneaky heel champion, and you're doing nothing with it. It's like, but she was over. I mean, she was in Canada. She was okay. Like people were like really into her, chanting for her and stuff like that. And she got the shock win over Jade Cargill. That could have given some momentum.
Yep.
I mean, it's not there, but maybe if Jordan match cost Cargill the match, and maybe Chelsea got the win. That could build into the story for both of them because Chelsea a win that she needs, and it gives Jordan Grace more and Cargill more heat going into their match because at the moment I don't think there's any real reason why they should fight other than for the belt. You know, I mean, did they had a feud in NXT? I can't remember one. Cargill was never in NXT, so they don't even have history, so I can't even pull on that.
I think someone like Bailey would be a good feud to have, you know. But I know she's on Raw or whatever, but you know, that there's somebody who could. Anyway, let's not talk about that too much. Let's move on to what's happening on SmackDown, and we have the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six in tag team match
for the tag team belts.
Yeah, for the tag team titles, and the MFTs defeated the Wyatt Six. I kind of expected that to happen, and
well, I mean, here's my review of this match in one word. I wish I gave a shit, but I don't, and I wish I did because like this whole thing with the Fabian Lantern has gone on so fucking long. Yeah, I mean, I know it's probably not gone on that long.
Sorry, by the way, welcome Daniel Vance. It's a cold outside. A foot of snow so far. It's still coming down. Warm me up with some Nerd Tube love. I will, mate. Hopefully, be watching some of the wrestling because and we will be doing a World Gone Insane very soon as well. But regarding that like the match, these sort of trophies, the heel team love to collect of the faces, and in this case, we got your lantern. Your lantern, you know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking lantern. You know what I mean? It's like, oh god. You know, but they do this shit, you know, and Uncle Howdy, like, when's he gonna start really coming across as the main man, you know, and not this poor man Bray Wyatt, which it feels more and more like the point of this group. They feel very pointless and they don't feel like they're established pushing themselves all over the business. They just feel like a small corner of it. You know, there's no takeover mentality or anything like that. They're useless, you know. The MFT is just useless. Anyway,
it's like I should give a shit about. I mean, I should care about these because, like, you know, because Solo Sikoa, I had high hopes for. Those hopes are going away, and even like the Wyatt Six, I had really high hopes for when it debuted, but I don't care about either of them. They're defeated over a fucking lantern.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
I agree. Sorry, let me get my sorry. The noise coming outside my room is just unbearable. Let me just um sort out the windows. But whilst I do that, let's talk about this next match now. Um, it's Nathan Fraser versus Johnny Gargano, and the sad news is Gargano is kind of been left on his own because Tommaso Ciampa is actually leaving the WWE, and this is why you don't see him on television at the moment. And
Well, that's I don't. Well, to be honest, I don't blame Ciampa because he's not really been used that much.
well,
Like he's one of the
the
top.
jackassing and stuff like that. It's very demeaning for a guy who deserves a bit better. I'm just going to close my window, but keep talking.
So like it's what happens when you get a talent who's pretty talented and you put them in the team where people are degrading them. People they're just going to go bye. It's the same thing that happened with Cody Rhodes. It's the same thing that happened with, pick a wrestler where like Dean Ambrose. It happened with him where they were putting him in stupid flaming gimmicks that were making them look stupid, and they just went, "You know what, bye." And it's happening again with Tommaso Ciampa, where you're making him look like a chump. And the guy's probably one of the most technical wrestlers you've got on that roster. I mean, like DIY had some banger matches for the title with the bullshit machine guns and other people, and it's like, and this is what he's reduced to. It's like, I mean, to be honest, I hope that Ciampa goes somewhere where they can use his talents.
I'll be honest with you right now. I'm not too far about Ciampa. I'm more concerned about what's going to happen to Johnny Gargano in the WWE, and who he will align himself with, if he does align himself with anyone, or if he goes solo. And they'll have to they might even have to rebrand him. He's still got his wife alongside him, and them trying to be a power couple does help to a degree. But Nathan Fraser defeated Johnny Gargano in a good match, in my opinion. More cruiserweight action. I love it, and this was a very fast-paced, high-flying, as you expect from these guys. So after this, we have Drew McIntyre doing a promo, but this promo was basically just to promote the Fatal 4-Way that was happening the following night, and then whoever wins that will face him.
So basically pointless.
Yeah, who will face him at the Royal Rumble the following week. And so but basically pointless. He's just there just to cut a promo, but which offered nothing else because he doesn't know who the fuck he's feuding with. He's feuding with nobody. So it's pointless. What else do we have here? And then I guess it's the final match of the night. Damian Priest versus Trick Williams. I don't know. What do you think of this match? I mean, I have.
Pointless.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of seeing guys who are not. When I say big men, I'm not necessarily thinking like wide, muscular, bulky guys. I'm talking maybe tall guys, who are, of a similar stature. And they've got some athletic ability to them as well. And Damian Priest and Trick Williams were definitely that.
The bell to bell is pretty good. It's just that the match just felt unnecessary considering what we're going to get. So you could have had something better.
At the moment, Sami Zayn comes ringside, then obviously shenanigans.
Yeah, actually, that's going to be a complaint that I'm going to be sharing when we get to Saturday Night's main events. The Metal Fame no contests. It's starting to get annoying now. It's like had there been a definitive winner. But maybe have some shenanigans like Kamala Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov. Kamala Hayes won, but it's because Miz costing the match, and Hayes went mental. That's the way it should be. It's like there were shenanigans.
I would have had something like maybe Damian Priest winning this match via count out, something along those lines. It doesn't do too much harm to Trick Williams for a start, and but he hasn't been pinned. You can cause some sort of scenario where he does get counted out. He's unable to get back to the ring, wins, and it saves him a little bit of face because obviously what happens the following. But overall, a very by the books Smackdown. Nothing too memorable. Lots of setup basically for Saturday Night Main Event. Any setup, let's be honest, for the Royal Rumble. This Royal Rumble feels like the least renowned Royal Rumble, and I just I mean, sorry, we had AJ Styles in this match. Sorry, on SmackDown, and he obviously set up a match with Shinsuke Nakamura, and we'll talk about that in a minute when we do our Saturday Night main event review. But not too impressed with this SmackDown. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. What about you?
I was going to give it a 6, but I agree with you 5 because the amount of talking, the amount of bullshit, the amount of just pointless matches. Like if they're building to feuds and stuff like that, I can understand it. But I agree with a lot he said. You know, like John Grace shouldn't be in the position she is at the moment. She should be contending tops for the US Women's title. Damian Priest, Trick Williams felt pointless because of the fact they were competing. Actually, it's probably more work for him because they had to compete the following night. Dragunov Camel Hayes was great, but that's not saying much. And then the White Six couldn't look any shit about them, and then Nathan Frazier versus Gargano was a feud fucking mask. It's like can we not think of better booking than this? Sorry.
Well, no, like I said, as much as I like Ilya Dragunov, him losing 3 matches in a row wasn't necessarily the best way to book him, in my opinion, despite him having a decent match. But regardless, I just did not like when you got to like the Royal Rumble coming up. You really want your pre-shows like your SmackDowns, and this is the problem by having a Saturday Night Main Event in the middle of all of this, because it kind of takes away from the Rumble to a degree. So when you're building up to something really special, like a big pay-per-view, one of the most popular, biggest ones in the Rumble, you want these SmackDown and Raw shows to feel really important because you're building up to that special pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But this one was building up to Saturday Night Main Event, and that's just unfortunate. Anyway, both of us are giving this week's SmackDown a 5. And now on to Saturday Night Main Event. So this was a 2-hour show and had several matches in it. But the first match wasn't really a match because Cody Rhodes was supposed to fight Jacob Fatu in this match. But the bell never even got rung, because before you know it, look, this is the thing, boss man. Sometimes, before the bell rings, somebody will do a cheap shot, but then the bell rings and the match continues regardless of the cheap shot. Jacob Fatu did a cheap shot on Cody Rhodes, and he still had his jacket on, but regardless, you thought, now they're both in the ring, ring the bell, let's start the match. But no, they somehow, all these fucking dickheads from behind, from the back, all tried to break it up and stuff. And then you just knew after that this was like a glorified full count anywhere match without the falls counting anywhere.
It's basically what I like to call out an all-out brawl. So if you ever get basically what I like to call it, it was just, I agree with you. It wasn't a match. It was just basically like Fatu and Flaming Cody wrestling each other, punching each other around, and then an occasional wrestling move, and then the wrestling move and Flaming. Actually, they did more wrestling moves to the bloody officials than they did to each other. Like Fatu did a flaming, did that flaming, what's it called? The Unagi slam through the flaming, through the merch table. That was and then they were flying over. And then it ends with Drew McIntyre throwing Jacob Fatu off and then powerbombing flaming Rhodes off the flaming wherever the little stage they were on. I was like. So wait. I mean, like this main event was great, but this match sucked. Well, I wouldn't even call it a match. This whatever it was sucked because he didn't. Because he was like, look, Drew McIntyre shouldn't have been involved in this. They should have beat the shit out of each other. Maybe they both end up somehow thrown off the flaming balcony. What it is?
Yeah, they could have not.
And then we get a cage match. Maybe get a flaming false count anywhere match. We get something where there's a blow off to this. Whether it's at the Rumble, whether it's at Flaming WrestleMania, or both. I mean, they should do something in the Rumble, that it should lead to a match at WrestleMania. That's just that. If I was booking this is how I would do it.
No, I would have done it like this. If I would have put this match there, yeah, they started in the ring. You know, obviously we still keep the cheap shot, whatever. They start brawling, and after 5 minutes or whatever, they're both outside the ring and they both get double counted out. But they still keep fighting, and you know they still keep brawling all over the fucking place, up and down the arena, you name it. And eventually, you know, you could have had both of them fall into tables or whatever, knocking each other out, and the match is over. You know, but yeah, I would have just tweaked it the way it was done now by basically having them both being counted out, and that's just the only change I would have made, really. You know, other than that, yeah, it just felt okay. Well, this is pointless. Like how I was more curious. I was more concerned about not concerned, but I was more like wondering how's this going to end. You know, and then obviously the ending.
And then when McIntyre came in.
Yeah. So the next match after this one was the tag team match. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Rio versus the Judgment Day.
It was really good to see Liv Morgan back in the ring, by the way, because I haven't really seen her properly back in the ring, especially in a main event sort of match. And I know this is not a pay-per-view, but this is as close as it's got since she's come back from injury. And she looked really good, man. She looked really fucking good. Like these are the four, in my opinion, these are the four best women wrestlers around at the moment. You know, I think Roxanne Perez is tremendously good, very underrated, not given the plaudits that she deserves. You know, and I think Liv Morgan has elevated herself to leaps and bounds, you know, for the last couple of years, without a doubt, especially since she's been part of the Judgment Day. We all know what we get with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, who are phenomenal. Yeah, I enjoyed this match. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, it was good for what he did. I mean, like, yeah, I thought he did what he needed to do. He brought Stephanie Vaquer back. I mean, she hasn't even been gone that long, to be honest with you, so I hate the word bring her back, but put her back on television at least.
Well, that was I'm glad you mentioned that. I totally forgot about Vaquer coming back. I mean, she just had her foot smashed in or whatever, and all of a sudden she's back now and her foot's okay. You're like, well, like after a week, you know, oh, you know, like this. Oh, come on, man, this is so stupid. But yeah, because she obviously she was dealing with Raquel. What's the fuck her name again? Yeah. And so yeah, I just found that a bit laughable. Like it's just you telling me her foot's in the cast and her foot gets further damaged in the cast by Raquel, and then all of a sudden a week later she's healed up.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Come on. You know, I mean, not. But regardless, that was just some interference and distraction in order for our good guys to get the win. And like a boss, I'll say, Liv Morgan was happy to take the pin as well. So good for them. What was the next match?
It was AJ versus Shinsuke. Can I take this?
Yeah, please.
This. I know we're early into 2026, but this is a very, 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 very heavy contender for match of the year. My fucking god, was this amazing! It's like, can we have one of these like every so often from WWE, please? Just these two were playing back and forth, and it wasn't like a fast-paced match. I mean, some of it was, but it was literally like move for move, playing like counter for counter, technical masterpiece. You know, these two. This is the match they should have had at WrestleMania. This was amazing. These two put on a flaming clinic, and this is the best match I've seen in 2026. I know we're already in January, but my God, was this good.
I don't know. I'm not in the same boat with you. I'm not saying that this match was terrible, but I didn't know how to necessarily feel about this match because I knew when these two were having their match. That okay, fine. Look, we need to make sure that when we wrestle again, that we're gonna finally give the people the sort of like masterpiece that they were expecting from us in the first place that we failed to deliver several years ago after Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble. But regardless of that, I thought the match had a few too many moments of submission holds and stuff like that, which I personally didn't necessarily appreciate. It felt like glorified rest holds personally, but nevertheless, it was a fairly entertaining match overall. I had no real issues with it, other than some of the submission moves. But it was decent. I think it was probably the best match they've had in the WWE. So yeah. What was after this
It was
one?
the main event. It was
Oh, by the way, AJ won. By the way, obviously,
AJ was the Styles Clash.
with his style clash, and we all knew he was going to win because unfortunately, Shinsuke, they've just never known what to do with him.
Well, I mean,
So the main event was
think it's just giving him a win before he faces Gunther, and I think Gunther's going to win. Just because AJ.
So I didn't mean to say AJ. I meant to say Shinsuke.
No, that's what I'm saying. Shinsuke Nakamura did the job because he knows that AJ is going to leave. So, because AJ, I think, is going to lose to Gunther and he's going to retire. Because the thing is, A, it does what you're supposed to do, which is you lose on your way out, and B, make a new star. And the thing is that it helps build the whole career killer thing that they've got going on with him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they want to obviously push Gunter as his monster heel, but regarding Shinsuke, ever since he's been in the WWE, they just don't know what to do with the guy, and it's a shame, really. But nevertheless, he probably had his best match with AJ Styles within the WWE. That is not their best match ever. Outside WWE, they've had much better encounters, but this was probably their better match.
Right.
And I think they were very much aware that they had to try to deliver. All right, fatal four-way time. Matches like this are always really fast-paced, regardless of who you have in the ring. Because you can constantly just pass around who's going to be in action next. Okay, we got four guys in the match. We'll start off with these two, and then somebody will interfere, and then now it's these two, and then somebody interfere, and now it's these two, and these two, and these two. Constantly, it's like like musical chairs with bloody wrestlers. If that's the best way. I'm not sure if that's the best example of what I'm trying to say, but they just kept swapping over. And the action was very fast and fluid, and lots of false finishes. It had to be Sami Zayn winning this, didn't it?
Yes.
It had to be, like in his hometown.
Yes.
I
mean, the problem with that is that no way is he beating McIntyre for it. Because McIntyre only just won it, so that annoys me. Because the thing is, did a 4-way? No, you could get on it if you want, fans. But I thought the match was pretty good. Showed all four people's talents, and the right person won in Sami Zayn. Because Trick Williams is too early. It's too new,
yeah.
Randy Orton doesn't need it. Who's the other fella? Damien Priest. Damien Priest has already been champion, so doesn't need it. But Sami Zayn does need it. But the problem is, we know he's going to lose against Fabian McIntyre. So
I'm not 100% sure now because he's fighting in Riyadh, yeah, and I know Drew McIntyre has just won the belt, but at the same time, you remember when Jey Uso became champion, he had just won the belt, and then next, on Raw of all shows, he lost the belt to Gunter, and that was that. But in my opinion, Riyadh wants that fairy tale, a Muslim wrestler winning the WWE Championship, in a country, which is predominantly Muslim. That's what fairy tales is all about, in my opinion. And I think there's a possibility. And they go on about the fact that he's never beaten Drew McIntyre. They start throwing that in the mix. You know how WWE operates.
Yeah.
Before you know it, before you know it, I genuinely think that Sami Zayn's going to beat Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble.
Bloody hell! I mean, considering he only just won it, what a couple of weeks ago, well, last week basically. That's a bit 2 weeks ago, yeah. Bloody hell, that's a bit of a short run. I mean, that's Paul McIntyre. Because the guy can't catch a break then. Because he only just because his title runs have been during COVID, he had the long title run, and then he had the short title run that was ended by Damian Priest, and then he's going to have a short title run that's going to be ended by Sami Zayn.
Okay.
I mean,
this is what's going to happen. But I'm not sure if you realize, but Ramadan is just around the corner as well. Yeah,
I am aware.
Yeah, so I think it'll be very difficult for Sami Zayn to be champion during the month of Ramadan. So they could also write that into the story as well, and the fact that he's dehydrated, he's not eating or whatever, and then Drew McIntyre can win the belt back at Elimination Chamber, and it'll be business as usual. But I do think for a week or two, whatever, just for that moment in Riyadh, just give them that special moment, give them. Give the fans what they want, and Sammy, you know what, he needs that. They need to get that monkey off his back. It's a bit like what happened to Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston finally won the belt, and that's it. Nobody talks about Kofi Kingston winning the belt anymore because he's already won it. Nobody will go on about Sami Zayn winning the belt anymore. If he's already won it, even if it's only for a week or two, he's already won it. Even people like Finn Balor, he had it for about a day. He had to release it because of injury. But they already won it, So in a way, that monkey was off his back, and I think this monkey needs to be off Sami Zayn's back. That's why I feel they're gonna give it to him at Royal Rumble. Be a great way for him to win it as well. No, you're not with me.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, I just think that.
No, but you don't. Yeah, I mean, regardless of my theory, if you think it's a good theory, but. Do you think he's going to win it? Do you think he's going to win it at the Rumble? Now I've made my case.
Potentially, because what you said is right. It's in Riyadh. He's very, very over in that country. I mean, the thing is that I'm very surprised he's not been champion sooner. Because I was thinking about this. The guy's multilingual. He speaks French and fluent Arabic and English. He's Arabic. He's an Arab anyway. He's a famous Muslim. He's a ginger bloke. He's French Canadian. I mean, how many famous boxes does this guy need to take?
No, yeah, I agree. He will sell a lot of merch as well, being champion. As well. Yeah, I just, yeah, I just think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. And Sami Zayn matches have always been. And I don't know. I thought he's like a technical Mick Foley. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. But the guy can go hardcore as well if he has to. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I just thought his time is due, and then like I said, let him have that win, let him have the belt, and then we'll move on. But all right, Saturday night main event. What are you gonna give it out of 10?
Do you know what? I'm going to give it an 8. An incredible matches on it. It's just like the first match was kind of pointless and kind of didn't do anything. And yeah, there was a couple of just dull moments, but overall it's a great program.
I'll give it a 7. I'm gonna give it a 7. I had a decent time with this. I thought the matches were pretty good. And I think it ended really well, but all those fucking commercial breaks are driving me nuts. But yeah, I don't know why. I just don't like you got the Royal Rumble next week, boss man, and you got this Saturday night main event the week before the Royal Rumble. It takes an edge off the Royal Rumble. You're having a pay-per-view before a pay-per-view. One of the
I wouldn't call this a pay-per-view. It's more of a program.
No, it's a Saturday night main event, Saturday night show. It's got massive matches on there and stuff like that. I just feel like this is just a money making scheme. This show should not, like, there should be nothing. But once the month of January begins, there should be nothing. And if you're gonna have a Saturday Night main event, have it at the beginning of January. If the Royal Rumble's at the end of January, you know what I mean. So anyway, all right, we're done here. Thank you very much. Anything else you want to quickly say, Gary?
No, like just look at. I wish I could say I was looking forward to the Royal Rumble, but I'm not. Like they've not. I agree with you. They've not really built this thing up at all. Like I mean, apart from Cody Rhodes saying I'm going into Royal Rumble, can you think of anybody else that you think can't? I mean, let me ask you now because we're at the end of this. Who do you think could win the Royal Rumble? Don't give me actual names, but give me like how many people are the men's and women's roster.
I think they might let Cody Rhodes win it for a third time. I hate to say it. I think what it is with the Rumble it works one of two ways. You either establish a new guy and make them a main event guy, like they've done with Drew McIntyre, like they've done with Jey Uso, and make them more of a main event guy by letting them win the Rumble, or you give it to somebody who's established. And to a degree, even Cody Rhodes became a main event guy by winning the Rumble the first time. But now he's won it 2 times, and he's been at multiple WrestleMania main events. He's established now, so you can give it to him for a third time, and then he'll be joining Stone Cold's record as the only guy to win it 3 times. And there's every possibility that's the case. And also, if Gunter does double duty, he could win it. But I don't know. I'll give it this. It's good to know that it's hard to tell who's going to win it this time around. It definitely won't be Jey Uso. That's for sure. So
I mean, his drop off in the last year has got to be stunning. I've never seen like a drop off. I mean, apart from maybe Jack Swagger, maybe I've not seen a drop off like it.
I don't get it personally. I'm still in Jey Uso's corner. But everyone else goes that he can't go and he's got bad stamina. I hear all of these things, but sometimes you got to look at the crowds, and the crowds are always behind Jey Uso. So if they're not noticing it, and I haven't really noticed it, then I don't know. But listen, we need to wrap this up. But I've got things to do. No problem at all. All right, everyone, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, greatest social media channel you never heard of. We'll catch you guys later.